They say love can make you do crazy things. But no one tells you how crazy it gets when the person you love is the getaway driver. I met Jax the same night my ex left me stranded at that cheap bar off I-40. My mascara was running, my phone was dead, and the bartender kept giving me pitiful glances like I was some Lifetime movie girl. Then, boom, he walked in like a storm wrapped in denim. Black leather jacket. Tattoo curling up his neck. That look in his eyes like he knew pain too well, and liked it. He slid into the stool beside me, tossed a 20 on the counter, and said, "You look like you need a win tonight. Wanna come steal one with me?" I laughed. Then I said yes. It was never supposed to go this far. The first job was small. A gas station. 2 in the morning. No one even saw us coming. I stood at the counter pretending to cry while Jack slipped the cash drawer with a screwdriver and a devil's smile. We split $380 and drove off like it was some kind of joke. But the way my heart raced, I wasn't scared. I was alive. That's the thing about Jax. He didn't just pull you into his world. He made you want to burn down yours. We started riding state lines. Arkansas, Mississippi, back roads in Louisiana. We'd hit little mom and pop stores that barely had working cameras, then disappear before morning. Every town we passed through, I was someone new. His cousin, his wife, his lookout. I dyed my hair twice in 1 week. Started carrying a revolver in my boot like some kind of outlaw Barbie. And every night in some cheap motel bed, he'd kiss my bruised knuckles and say, "You were made for this, baby." And the worst part? I started believing him. But here's the twist no one ever talks about in those fairy tale crime podcasts. The money. It runs out. The thrill. It fades. But the lies? Those grow sharp enough to kill you. Because last Tuesday, I found a second phone in his glove compartment. And it wasn't me on the wallpaper. I stared at that second phone like it had a trigger. Screen cracked. Battery low. And there she was. Brown curls, soft smile, standing in front of a food truck with Jax's arms around her waist. Not me. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. Didn't even wake him. I just put the phone back, slid out of the car, and walked 2 miles to a gas station to breathe without choking on betrayal. He found me the next morning, all wide-eyed and boyish like the devil forgot his horns that day. "You okay, baby?" He reached for my hand. I didn't flinch. Didn't shoot him. Just stared dead in his face and asked, "Who's she?" Jax lied like he was born to do it. "She's nothing. That was before you. She's married now. Got kids. It's just an old photo. I didn't delete it, 'cause I forgot it was there." He said it all soft, slow, like he thought I'd melt if he used that voice. And I wanted to believe him. I really did. But liars have a smell, don't they? It clings to them like cheap motel smoke and rusted guilt. Still, I stayed. Because when you've helped someone rob a place in the middle of Texas wearing a ski mask and no regrets, you start thinking maybe you're not the victim anymore. Maybe you're just his matchstick girl, striking fires wherever he drags you. We hit 2 more places that week. An auto repair shop with a busted safe. A pawn shop where the old man had a gun that misfired. That one almost ended everything. Because when I heard the click, Jax didn't flinch. He laughed. Like he wanted to die. Or worse, didn't care if I did. That night, back at the motel, he touched my hair like he was petting a loaded gun. Whispered, "You ride with me, you bleed with me." And just like that, I was back under the spell. Kissed him with all the fear I'd buried. Let him hold me like he didn't lie. Like we weren't spinning toward a crash we both saw coming. But the universe. It keeps receipts. And 3 days later, we pulled into a town so small, it didn't even have a traffic light. Just one diner. One gas station. And one missing persons poster taped to a telephone pole. Her name was Sierra Mendez. age 27, brown curls, soft smile. And the last person she was seen with? A man matching Jax's description. Tell me, how do you love someone when the world keeps whispering that they've already buried a girl just like you? I stared at the poster until the letters blurred. Sierra Mendez. Last seen with a male companion. No further leads. And there it was. The same smile. The same curls. The same haunting warmth I saw in that second phone photo. Except this time, her eyes were paper. Her name was past tense. Back in the car, I didn't say a word. Jax was tapping the steering wheel like it owed him a beat. Talking about hitting up a payday loan place next town over. He had no idea I was dying inside 5 inches from him. So I asked, "Ever been to New Mexico?" He glanced sideways, grinned. "Couple years back." "Why? You go alone." And that's when I saw it. The flinch. It was slight, but it was there. A half-second hiccup in his cool. And baby, that's all I needed. That night I didn't sleep. Not even when he wrapped himself around me like a curse. I was staring at the ceiling, my hand under the pillow, gripping the cold steel of a gun I swore I'd never use. Not on him. But Sierra's face was carved into my brain like a warning. What if I was next? By morning, I had a plan. A sick, shaky, desperate plan. And if you're watching this now, it's because it worked. Because the next town we rolled into, I did something I never thought I'd do. I turned my phone back on. No burner. No tricks. I opened the camera. And I filmed him. I filmed Jax walking into the pawn shop. I filmed him handing me the stolen shotgun like it was a bouquet. I filmed everything. Because I needed proof. Not for the cops. Not even for Sierra. For me. To remind myself this man wasn't some tortured hero. He was a weapon. And I'd been pulling the trigger too. That night in the motel, I waited until he hit the shower. Then I dropped a burner flash drive into the Bible drawer. Taped a note on it that read, "If anything happens to me, start here." Her name was Sierra Mendez. Mine is Kayla. And I don't plan to disappear quietly. You know, people think girls like me are weak. That we get caught up in some twisted love story and lose ourselves. But here's the truth. We don't lose ourselves. We bury who we are to survive. And survival. It has a cost. So if you're watching this, comment, "I see you, Sierra." Let her name echo. Let it not end in silence. And hit subscribe. Because you have no idea what's coming next. I didn't sleep. Again. Sleep is for people who don't suspect the man they love might have killed the last girl who kissed him. By 3 a.m., Jax was out cold, snoring like he hadn't just handed me a loaded gun 12 hours ago and kissed my forehead like he was sealing a coffin. I sat at the edge of the motel bed, staring at the light leaking through the blinds. Every car that passed made me flinch. Every creak in the walls felt like a countdown. And then, my burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. "I got your package. Who's Sierra?" My hands shook. Because I never gave anyone that flash drive. Not in person. Not online. Just dropped it in the motel's Gideon Bible and prayed the right maid would find it. Guess someone did. And now, they were reaching out. I texted back. "The girl before me. I think he hurt her. I think I'm next." 10 seconds later. "Meet me. Sunrise. Truck stop. Mile 62 off 45. That was it. No name. No comfort. Just an order. And me. I followed it. Before dawn, I slipped out while Jax was still snoring, my boots silent on the carpet, my heart thudding like it wanted out of my chest. I left behind the gun. Left behind the love letters I'd written in my head and never dared speak. Left behind everything but the truth. Because if I came back alive, I'd need it. If I didn't, well, the flash drive would tell the rest. The truck stop smelled like diesel and bad coffee. A man stood leaning against a rusted Ford pickup, arms crossed, eyes like steel. He didn't say hello. Didn't ask if I was okay. Just tossed me a photo. It was grainy, black and white. But I knew what it was. A security cam still. Sierra. Jax. And a third man. Tall. Bald. Snake tattoo on his neck. I looked up, breath stuck in my throat. Who's he? The man's voice was low. Name's Bishop. That's Jax's old partner. Sierra turned them in. She vanished 2 days later. Suddenly it all clicked. The tension in Jax's jaw every time we crossed a state line. The second phone. The nightmares he muttered through. He wasn't running from the law. He was running from the people who helped him break it. I asked the stranger, "Why are you helping me?" He didn't blink. Because I couldn't help her. And just like that, I knew. This wasn't about me anymore. This was a reckoning. I got back to the motel by 7:13 a.m. Jax was in the shower. Steam fogging the mirror. His toothbrush still wet. I sat on the bed, calm now. Like a bomb with its timer set. Because this time, he wasn't the only one with a plan. You ever plan someone's downfall while kissing them goodnight? I have. Twice now. Jax got out of the shower humming like nothing in the world was broken. Wrapped his towel around his waist and leaned in to kiss me like we were still the same couple from that gas station job in Arkansas. But we weren't. I had blood in my mouth. Not mine. Not his. Just the taste of truth. And it was bitter enough to spit. Still. I kissed him back. Smiled. Laughed when he cracked a joke. Because this wasn't just survival anymore. This was strategy. That night, I booked a fake robbery. A bait job. Set up by me. Arranged through the guy from the truck stop. Turns out his name was Remy, a retired PI turned ghost chaser who tracked missing girls the cops forgot. He told me what to do. All I had to say to Jax was, one last score. Easy cash. No cameras. He didn't even ask for details. That's how cocky he was now. That's how deep I had him. Or maybe, that's how little he thought of me. The place was a closed-down laundromat near a gas station off I-82. Cash tucked under floor tiles from the old owner. Or so I told him. Truth was, there'd be no cash. No floor tiles. No way out. Just Remy with a drone camera, an unmarked car, and a quiet call to a local contact in law enforcement. The night of the setup, I wore red lipstick for the first time in weeks. Not for Jax. For Sierra. Because she never got her last word. But I would. We drove to the laundromat in silence. Jax humming that same damn tune again. The one he always hummed before a job. Like his own private war cry. I counted every street lamp we passed. Every second that ticked by. Every breath I could still take. When we pulled up, he turned to me and said, "You're staying in the car. Just look out. You hear anything, flash the brights twice." I nodded. Pretended I didn't want to vomit. Watched him walk toward the building, crowbar in one hand, ego in the other. Remy's car lights flashed. Twice. That was the signal. I turned the key. Revved the engine like I was leaving. But I didn't. I parked half a block away and watched the scene unfold through the crack of a broken window. Jax was inside. But this time, he wasn't the one pulling the strings. I couldn't hear what happened. But I didn't need to. Two men walked in, plain clothes, badges tucked in belts. Remy behind them with a camera still rolling. Jax backed up, arms out. I saw the panic flash across his face like lightning. Like maybe the devil had finally come to collect. And then, he ran. Straight out the back. Vaulted the fence like it was muscle memory. And I knew in that second, this wasn't over. Remy called me 3 minutes later. He slipped us. But we got the footage. And now we've got a warrant coming. I nodded. Felt the tears rise. Not from sadness. From something worse. Relief laced with regret. Because you don't stop loving someone just because they're guilty. But you do start loving yourself more when you finally say, enough. If you're still with me, comment below. She's not running anymore. And hit subscribe. Because this next part, he comes back. And he's not coming alone. I didn't sleep that night. Again. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was the silence. The kind that comes after betrayal, after the trap is set, but before the storm kicks your door in. Remy called around 3 a.m. Jax was still missing. No credit card hits. No sightings. Just gone. Vanished. I thought maybe he'd run to Mexico. Or maybe he knew I set him up, and he was circling back to finish what Sierra never got to. I kept checking my burner phone. My real phone. Even the motel phone. Nothing. Until 4:17 a.m. When it rang. Blocked number. I answered on instinct. All I heard was his voice. Low. Cold. Controlled. You left the Bible open, Kay. My blood turned to ice. He knew. The next 36 hours were a blur. Remy moved me to a safe house. New state. New name. New motel that smelled like bleach and burned hope. He told me not to go online. Not to post. Not to breathe too loud. Jax had gone dark. And when men like him disappear, it's not to find peace. It's to plot. But here's the thing about liars. They always overplay their hand. 2 days later, Remy got a tip. Security footage. A 24-hour diner in a nowhere town. And there he was. Jax. Back on camera. Back in my orbit. But he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him. Blonde. Young. She looked like me 3 months ago. Naive. Starstruck. Next. That's when it hit me. Jax wasn't hiding. He was recruiting. Replacing me like a tire gone flat. Plug in a new girl. Teach her the ropes. Make her fall. Then break her down till she can't tell the difference between crime and love. I wanted to warn her. To scream through that screen. Run. But I didn't even know her name. And the last time I tried to save someone from Jax, I almost lost myself. So I did the only thing I could. I posted the footage. The motel. The jobs. The second phone. The footage of him running from cops. Everything. I uploaded it to a burner account. Labeled it. Ride or die. What loving a criminal looks like. Within 3 hours, it had 27,000 views. Within 12, a local news channel picked it up. By the end of the day, Jax's face was on every screen west of the Mississippi. I didn't feel good. Didn't feel safe. But I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Heard. That night, I got a voicemail. It was just breathing. Heavy. Unhinged. Then his voice. Choking. Come. You always said I made you feel alive. Now I'm gonna return the favor. See you soon, Kay. If you're still here, drop a comment. He's not the ending of her story. And don't just watch. Subscribe. Because the finale? It's not about running anymore. It's about revenge. I used to think the scariest sound in the world was a gun being cocked. I was wrong. The scariest sound is a knock on the door. When you know who it is. And you know what they've come to do. It was raining. Of course it was. The kind of rain that drowns the truth and washes away evidence. I was holed up in a second-story room in Baton Rouge under a fake name, a burner phone, and 2 deadbolts. I hadn't slept in 2 days. Remy was off chasing a new lead on the girl Jax had recruited. I was alone. And then, knock. Knock. Slow. Measured. Like someone playing with my heartbeat. I didn't answer. Just slid my hand under the pillow and wrapped my fingers around cold metal. My breath caught when the voice came. You really thought this was how it ends? Me on the news? You playing hero? Jax. He didn't even try to hide it. You left me for dead, Kay. But I'm still breathing. And you owe me a goodbye. The thing about Jax is, he never did well with endings. He liked to leave his own mark, even if it was a bloodstain. I stayed silent, pulled back the curtain a crack. He was out there. Black hoodie, wet hair sticking to his forehead, eyes wild. But this time, he wasn't the only one watching. You see, before he got there, I had already sent the address to Remy. Told him if I stopped texting for 5 minutes, kick the door in. It had been 7. I was counting. And just as Jax started rattling the handle, headlights cut through the rain. 3 black SUVs. Unmarked. Fast. Hard. Silent. Remy doesn't play games. The door burst open. Not mine. His. Jax turned too late. They swarmed him like shadows with badges. Took him down hard. Face in the gravel. Screaming my name like it was a curse and a confession all at once. Kayla. You think this makes you safe? We were a team. But I didn't flinch. Didn't cry. Didn't say a word. Because for the first time in a long time, I wasn't his girl anymore. I was the witness. And I was finally free. 2 weeks later, I stood outside the courthouse. Hair pulled back. Fresh clothes. No fear. Jax took a plea deal. Multiple counts. Years ahead of him. And no more girls to drag down. The girl from the diner? Safe. Found her through a Reddit thread once the video went viral. Her name's Marla. She's 22. And she almost became me. But not anymore. You want to know what I learned? You can love a monster and still lock the door. You can survive the fire and still feel cold. But you don't walk through hell and come out unchanged. You rise. You rebuild. You write your own ending. And mine. It starts here. You see, child. Some stories don't end with wedding bells or white picket fences. Some end with a whisper. And a woman who decided she wasn't going to be buried next to the lie she loved. I tell this now with hands that once shook holding secrets. With a voice that once said, I'm fine, through bloodied lips. I tell it because silence is where danger grows roots. And I dug mine out. So to the girl watching this, wondering if she should leave him. You already know. You just need proof. Let this be it. To the one who stayed too long. You're still here. You're still breathing. And that means it's not too late. Drop a comment. Say, she chose herself. Say it loud enough that Sierra hears it. Say it until Marla never doubts it. And if you made it this far, subscribe. Not for me. For the next girl who's still behind that locked door, thinking love is supposed to hurt. My name was Kayla. But you can call me free. And this was how I broke the chain.